When you joined your college, Gopika, did you expect that your college will tell you about what you can wear, what you cannot wear? Or should that decision be completely the students' as they are adults themselves? What's your opinion there?
I think there is no gray area in this. This is a question of bodily autonomy and the choice of clothing, and that should completely lie with an individual adult. And there's no institution that can encroach upon those sorts of rights that one has to choose what clothing that they wear. And this is nothing less than moral policing. Whenever there is DU is not immune to eve teasing, sexual harassment, catcalling, all of these routinely happen in DU, and there is no action whatsoever by the Delhi University administration. I, in fact, did my bachelor's in Miranda House, and right outside Miranda House gate, there's always a group of boys, always catcalling, always eve teasing. Multiple complaints registered with the nearby police stations, never an action taken. And again, you can see whenever such incidents happen, the first attack of the college administration is to go and attack the rights of the women students, tell them what they can wear, what they cannot wear, tell them where they can go, cannot go, and tell them at what time they can go and cannot go. So this is not new. This has always been happening, this sort of encroachment, and this is a new
But
law.
if I may come in here, Gopika, you see, if a college can regulate shorts today, and we're talking about St. Stephen's, you gave us the example of Miranda House and what happens right outside Miranda House. I mean, one has to understand, where do we draw that line? Because who decides what is quote unquote decent? And while you're answering that question, do you think moral policing is a fair description? Because you've got, frat houses in the Western universities, and, people are very, patriotic about the colleges and the frat houses that they belong to. If a college is trying to simply enforce their ethos, are they actually wrong in, enforcing a dress code? You go to, okay, fine. I don't want to be taking names here, but there are dress codes for, specific business administration colleges. There is a dress code for, let's say, a sporting university. Is that totally wrong?
See, whenever there is a dress code for a professional institute, for example, you might be talking about a management institute that, would demand formals, or say for a law university that would demand black and white clothing. That comes from the culture of the profession they're being trained into. There, the case is different. Delhi University and St. Stephen's College is an arts college, and there is no technical requirement of a uniform. If there was a uniform, then of course the uniform should be enforced. But there is no uniform here, and there is nothing that goes against wearing shorts. There can be no logical argument that can be given by the administration why they are in fact enforcing one. So I think there is no question of what the administration cannot decide, because clothing is something that an individual adult is entitled to choose for themselves.
You're saying
and
this
that
is
is
about
where we should be
bodily
drawing the line.
autonomy, and there is no gray area here. Professor Deswal, every institution has its own ethos. We've been speaking to you about what happens in and around the Delhi College, what happens to the students' lives, and you've been a very vocal, opinionated person on that particular front. Do you think this very case, it warrants a discussion? Does that give the college the right to prescribe dressing standards for these adult students? Because, we've got Gopika, she's a student, and she says this is about bodily autonomy. And when you're in an arts college, if St. Stephen's was an MBA college, this would still be, justified, but not in St. Stephen's.
Here I'm totally with what Gopika is saying. See, you cannot be overly moralistic. This is the 21st century. And I would say even in the 19th century, colleges prescribing dress code, because as you said, there is an ethos. I agree. That could be acceptable. But when you are restricting one particular kind of garment, you say that you cannot wear shorts. Now, shorts come in all shapes and sizes. Multiple descriptions, unless and until there is an absolute clarity. I mean, can you restrict students from wearing Bermuda shorts, from wearing tailored shorts? Or is it about cycling shorts? Or is it about girls wearing those skirts cum shorts which are known as cords? And then if you say that you cannot wear shorts, so there is a restriction only on wearing shorts. Does that mean that you can wear pajamas to the classroom, you can wear night suits, or maybe you can wear mini skirts? I mean, that would all be permitted.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need to have a dress code, it needs to be well defined. I totally agree that you should not allow students from to wear shorts to laboratories.
But
Of
Professor,
course, there are exceptions.
where does the college's own tradition come into play here? Some of those students, on the guarantee of anonymity, have come out and said that this is an unsaid rule, it's an unwritten rule. We are discouraged from wearing shorts, and that's something that we've upheld for years on end. Doesn't mean that it has to continue, but tradition has, and nostalgia and ethos, they play their own parts in a university.
So tradition, I mean, it has a persuasive value. You could have allowed the students to join. Maybe they would have themselves followed in the traditions. But when you put an absolute bar, you come out with an order that you cannot wear shorts. See the kind of retaliation it has evoked from the students. The very first day of college, and students, they've come in shorts.